Hi, I'm Peter Ladotti, and I'm going to show off the Collections feature in Microsoft's Live Map service. Collections are a feature that Microsoft introduced about a year ago. They're pretty cool. They let you mark up the map with your own stories. So you can plot out routes that you've taken or leave comments on the map about your favorite places, whether it be a restaurant or a tourist attraction or maybe just a great place to catch a sunset or take a picture or something like that. So what we're going to do now is we're going to switch over and look at the map service. So you can get to this by going to maps.live.com. Right now the map here that we're looking at is focused in on over New Jersey where I live. I'm going to go ahead and close out the welcome panel on the left here to give us a little bit more real estate on the screen. Now I like to ride my bike a lot, and there's this really great bike trail that goes from where I live over to the beach. And it's got a couple of good places along where you can look out at New York City, and there's some other neat little things there. And I like to share this with my friends, so I can mark up the map with information about the trail and share it with them. And I can do that using the Collections feature on Live Maps. So I'm going to zoom in on the map by dragging out a little box here. I can do this by clicking the scroll wheel on the map and dragging out that box. I'll zoom in one more time over here. Okay, so now we're looking at the map. And what we're looking at here is along the north part of the Jersey Shore. This is the Raritan Bayshore line. And I'm going to go here and go to the Collections menu and select Open. That's going to open up the scratch pad over here on the right. And the scratch pad's kind of like our toolbox / repository. If I do a search for anything on the map up on the top there by looking for a business or location, the search results, I can add them to the collection by basically putting them here in the scratch pad. I've also got the ability to add push pins. I can draw a line on the map to mark out my way. I can draw some shapes, and then I've got some other options here for formatting any shapes or lines I put on the map. So let's go ahead and grab the line tool and draw a line to represent this bike path. So the bike path starts over here near the town of Keyport, and it pretty much goes along roughly following the highway. But what it's actually following is an old rail line that was abandoned, and it was converted into the bike trail. And the rail line goes about all the way over to here to the town of Atlantic Highlands. You can see it's just under 10 miles long. So we can get to the end of the line, and you need to double click to end the line, and a little box comes up where you can identify what this is marking, this route. And I'm going to go in here and say that it's marking off the Henry Hudson Bike Trail. That's the name of the trail. Cool Bike Trail. Mark that note there. And I'll go ahead and hit save, and that shows up now on the scratch pad over there on the right with the length of the trail. Now what I want to do is I want to mark up some interesting things along this trail that someone might want to check out. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit here towards the end of the trail. Now I want to move the map a little bit. There's another point of interest here. Now when the trail ends, and that blue line is probably not accurate because I drew it when it was zoomed out, but you can see this windy road here that winds up along the coast. What really is going on here, there's a pretty tall hill there. It's known as Mount Mitchell. And right at the top here, there's a great view of New York City. Now it can be a bit much to climb up there, but I'll mark this thing off as the Mount Mitchell overlook. And I've got some comments that I've typed up, and I'm going to just paste in there to save you from hearing me type. And if you can make it great up the hill, great view of New York. And a little trivia for you, it's also the highest point on the East Coast between Maine and Cancun, Mexico. That's kind of a little far out thing out there. Now I've got a picture of this too from the local county park system. I'm going to paste the URL for that picture in there. And then if someone wants to click for some more information about that park or that overlook, I can paste another URL that has a link to the parks website. So Monmouth County Parks right there. So when someone clicks on that, they can go through to the park. And what this looks up here, I can go on the push pin, and when I hover over it, I get a little pop-up with my comment as well as the picture that I linked to. Now I'm not going to click it, but if I click that picture, that'll take me out to the link that I linked to for the county park website. So all of this stuff is now in my collection that I've created over here, and it's not saved. So I need to save this thing so I can share it with my friends. And what it's doing is telling me I have to sign in. So to sign in to the map service, you need to have a Windows Live ID. I have one. I'm going to use that to log in. And if you have a Hotmail account or a Windows Live Messenger account, you've got a Windows Live ID. If you don't, you can come into this interface and sign in and create your new Live ID here. So I'm going to go ahead and sign in. the map will reload, the collection's still there, and now I see that it says the collection has not been saved over here on the upper right. So I'm going to go ahead and click the Save button, and I get a little window here asking me to name this collection. So I'm going to say Bike Trail Collection, I'll call it, and here is a collection of bike trails, right? Now at the bottom here you'll see that I've got two options. I can turn on sharing and I can turn on search. And what this is going to do is allow me to make this collection available publicly so that people can do a search for it in the search engine, and it will show up when they search the map. So I'll go ahead and hit save, and once I do that it gets saved, and now I can see that the bike trail collection up here is marked out, and I can see the things in the collection. And when I get this little drop down marker here, I can see that I've got some other collections that have been stored before. Some more fun ones, like some bars at the Jersey Shore where I like to hang out, and different hikes that I've got there, and maybe a trip to the Southwest I took. So if I switch over to another collection, I can click on that, and it loads up the items in that collection. You can see a bunch of names of the bars at the shore. Now here's a little glitch. It doesn't actually move the map over to where these items are, so you have to click this Map All button, and now that moves over and I can see where the items in that collection are located. Now this is all saved out, and now what I want to do is show how you can access these collections from a clean browser window. So I'm going to go here and switch over. I've got Firefox open here, and in Firefox we've come to mapslive.com, and I'm not logged in, so I'm going to go ahead and sign in over here in Firefox, and I'll log in with the same ID. And now when I log in, I'm logged into the map, same where I was before. I'm going to close this welcome panel again to get my real estate back. And now I'll go to the collections menu and I will say open. And over here it basically starts up. It's empty. It doesn't have, because assuming you're going to do a new one. But if I go to the drop down list, there are all my collections. So I can go over here to the bike trail collection, and there's the bike trail. I can do map all to zoom in on it. So that's a little glitchy, that doesn't do that, but it's still pretty cool that I can see everything right there. And there's my bike trail over in another browser. And of course I can go ahead and look up the other collections too. So let's go back and look at the bars. I think that's a little bit more fun to do. And now what I want to do is I want to share this out with a friend so I can maybe show him where the bars are at the shore, or even that bike trail. But let's do the bar example. So I can go to the share option here and do select send an email. And now I've already done this before, but this is basically going to open up an Outlook window where you can send the message. So I've already done that. I've sent the message, and now I'm showing here the window of Outlook. This is the email message I've received. I basically sent it to myself with a URL, and this is for my friend to click on. So if my friend clicks on this URL, they're going to open up, and when they click the link, it's going to open up the window to this view. And it's a little bit slightly different. I can see basically all the push pins on the map for my collection, but now the collection's marked out over here on the left because this is something that's been shared with me, and I'm not the person who created it. So I can see all the items, and of course if I hover on any one of them, it'll give me the option to zoom in on them and do that. What I've also got here is I've got the ability to subscribe to an RSS feed, which is kind of funky. You wouldn't expect this here. So let's say the person who owns this collection is constantly updating and adding new things to it. I can basically click subscribe here, get a subscription to an RSS feed that's going to keep me up to date with any new items that are added to the collection. So pretty cool way there to view a collection after it's been shared. So what we just did there, we created a collection, we saved it out, we opened it up from another browser, from a fresh map, and then we also shared it out and seen how that can be shared with other people. Now you can also share out your maps from the search engine by going and searching. So this last site I'll leave you with here, collections.live.com. You want to come here. This has got all the information about how the collection stuff works, and then some key collections that have been highlighted here by the Microsoft team. And also here on the lower left is a tutorial which explains how you can create a collection. And if you click on that, you'll get some instructions that basically cover what we just showed you today in today's video. Thanks for watching.